Hello there, Sock. Let's have a look. The issue of public school curriculums is a contentious issue which has grown in importance over the last decade. Good. Despite the tremendous benefits that can be derived, it should not be forgotten that traditional schooling can also be seen as educating people out of creative capacities. Good. This essay will illustrate that homeschooling is a viable option and public education limits creativity, using examples from the US to demonstrate points and support arguments. Genius, Sock. Firstly, homeschooling is seen as one of the growing alternatives to traditional schooling. This is because this new alternative, just to avoid saying homeschooling, and if we use it, I would probably guess that you're talking about homeschooling, but just let's avoid guesswork and just say this is because this new alternative allows parents to have a flexible teaching curriculum to educate their children, especially to embrace their children's talent and creativity. For instance, recent research performed in the US revealed that one of the major reasons that causes parents to divert their children from traditional schooling to homeschooling is one of the major reasons for parents adopting homeschooling is that they dislike the public school environment and the academic content. As said, more or less the same, but with less words. Therefore, it is clear that homeschooling has become an increasingly viable option for many families. Good work there, Sock. Very good. Alternatives to saying homeschooling. And I don't think it is one word. I think we should separate that, or at least put a hyphen between it. Any alternatives? Modern new education approaches. Family schooling, maybe. And we could have also used the pronouns like this new method or it. Because I think we've said it quite a lot. Let's go on. Secondly, public school may be argued as a predicate on the idea of academic ability. This is due to the fact that in traditional educational environments, where academic ability dominates, people are perceived as intelligent. As a result, students who are highly talented and creative would think they are not because the things they were good at school were not valued or were stigmatized. Really long argument here, and we've gone into a long complex argument, and what's happened is we've tripped up grammatically, and now it's damaged like the whole coherence of the essay. Go for a simple argument, Sock, and especially with your level of grammar, a simple argument will just absolutely shine and will be so much easier to read. And also never ever use contractions in your formal essay. For example, Apple, precious CEO Mr. Steve Jobs, or Apple's precious CEO, but we wouldn't use precious to describe a CEO. They'd say valuable maybe, or productive, or something else. Was a college dropout because the things he enjoyed doing and was talented in were not valued by his university at that time. Can you see the amount of grammatical errors that were made by going for quite a long sentence as well? Therefore, it is clear that if traditional schools continue to acutely value academic ability as the only source of intelligence, as the only type of intelligence, there would be more serious implications. Not bad. I wouldn't say there'd be serious implications. More serious implications. More than what? Because we haven't mentioned any before. And in fact, let's see. I can't see that there's a serious implication. Anyway, let's carry on. To conclude, although homeschooling may be seen as a new phenomenon to educate to the traditional education system, there are still efficiency gains and effectiveness to be obtained. We haven't talked about efficiency beforehand, so it's probably better not to mention it in the conclusion, especially through embracing children's creative capacity. Saxon genitive needs to be reviewed as well. For this reason, I believe that traditional schooling should re-evaluate their academic content as well as their attitude towards other forms of creativity besides academic ability. Okay, not bad, but I would recommend shortening the sentences and going for simplicity, Sock, okay, because we're so close, we just don't want to trip up by going for an elaborate, complex argument. Okay, the bar chart shows direct investment from 6 countries, Malaysia, New Zealand, and Mexico, Germany, Thailand, and Somalia, into Australia between 2011 and 2014. Good. As it seems to be the amount of the amount of investments have increased significantly as the year progresses. Germany and New Zealand are the major investors from 2012 to 2014. Good. According to the graph, New Zealand is the top foreign investment country to Australia, where the total amount of investment has increased tremendously from just shy of 100 million, good, to over 200 million, an increase by an increase of a threefold increase over 4 years, or whatever. Okay, twofold increase, I think that would be, or we could even just say practically doubling over 4 years. Germany ranks second, which shows a similar investment trend from 80 million in 2011, swelling to 190 in 2012, and stayed constant before reaching 200 million in 2014. Okay, I wouldn't have said plateau. Plateau is for line graphs. Okay, and this is which are moving, which is, I guess, are moving. But this is a bar chart. Okay, let's go. Malaysia and Mexico illustrate a similar but smaller scale of investments between 80 million and 140 million for the year examined. In contrast, Thailand and Somalia depict a rise and fall investment curve. Good. Somalia started at 10 million and it sharply rose to 90 million before falling to 10 million in 2014. Okay, good work that. Very good work. You got task 1 under control. Overall, Somalia is the country that invests the least amongst all countries over the 4-year period, and Germany and New Zealand are the leaders. Okay, just to mention something about the others. Fantastic. And I would have even linked this sentence just to this one. Okay, just to show sort of like a conclusion, noting the leaders and the laggards, okay, or the smaller ones. Fantastic work there, Sock. Now, if you, I'm pleased that you're happy with the course. I think you are anyway. And, 1 second. Sorry, I just checked you are enjoying the course. Okay, regarding the copyright law, I don't have that at the moment, okay, so I can't comment on that, I'm sorry. But what we can do, if you're enjoying it and you want to progress, and I'd strongly recommend doing this because it's a good way just to consolidate your skills and really just push the improvement even further, is that there's a special offer where you can get 10 essay checks for €50, and that's only available for students who've completed the Sentence Guide program. Okay, and we do exactly the same, and we try and incorporate more, like a bit more of the negative verbs instead of the negative constructions, and we work through correcting the essays exactly like this, and gives you more opportunity to experiment with new vocabulary, and it's almost like perfecting. Okay, so have a look at those links and let me know if you want to continue. It would be awesome if you did, but yeah, just let me know what you decide, and hopefully we can continue working together. All the best, Suck.